All right, all you devils out there, happy Friday. Sam here with you. We're the 14th of January here. It's just now 12:30 for me here in Austin. So we're do an update here on Bitcoin. I had some requests. Some people saying, well, shit, Bitcoin's just going to be stuck here for a while. Why don't we take a look at Ethereum as well? The counts are, of course, very similar. I'm not sure whether we'll do two videos here or just put them here in one. Well, let's see how we do with Bitcoin here, how long we go here. Now, I'm likely thinking that this could be fairly short because not a lot has changed. Now, we are still at a point where we can't really confirm whether we're doing a flat. We're doing a flat, right? Same thing I've been talking about for, it feels like 6 months now. Or we're going to do a triangle, right? Same discussion. Right? Nothing really changed here. The emphasis points here, as I pointed out yesterday, this trend line here that held us so well through this correction. Now with that break, it's not unreasonable to anticipate now a test from underneath and then perhaps one more down. That still, we'll look at the subdivision here. We go to lower time frames. I don't know that would give us any more certainty here. There's such solid support down here. Here, I'll probably pull this down this way. Down here, this is such good support that if we're going to come down, well, we'll look at the counts that'll get us here. If we're coming down towards 30K, then I think you likely would lean more into the flat, but not necessarily. It would fit better per the A, the B, and now can we call this a 5? Can we finish with a 5 and not a 3, right? That's how we'll know. And as of yet, we don't know. Well, let's just look at how we might get there, because as it sits right now, well, 42, 32, another 10K seems certainly not unreasonable that we could get there. So given that we've looked at this triangle so many times here, let's look at the route here that would get us down to this intersection down here. Now this is a chart left over from a live stream I did on I think Tuesday. This is one of my members here. This is James M. Many live streamers and members, of course, will know he's a very skilled Elliottian, and he and I have been back and forth on a variety of counts, and we've been wrong a few times. But as it sits right now, this, I think, and I like this, I wanted to give him credit here for the best road to get us down here to this 30K zone here. Now, we're similar to the way I'm counting it, right? We're doing an ABC into a W, ABC into an X, ABC with the truncation here, subtle but slight truncation. One thing to note, I am now out of log scale. And if you're just following along on your home board. WXY into an A, ABC into a B. Now, if we're going to finish with the flat, this is a solid count that would get us there. So the thing to note is the first 1, 2, because this is a bit of a cluster in here. So you got to go 1, 2, and then yet again a 1, and then we've got to go through this gyration here, expand the B into the C to get us our 2. So it's 1, A, B, C into the 2, waterfall 3, sideways 4. Now, sure looks like we could be done. I'm out here on a 4-hour, but you can see the subdivision here. This is a contender to be done as it is now. Interesting. One thing that's interesting, it looks like he's done the same thing here. He's just wicked off this pivot here. I'm going to put it in yellow. That's a to the tick pivot. There was at one point we were looking at this saying, oh, well, okay, maybe it's a 1, 2. Well, with that, did we actually? I don't think we actually overlapped it. We didn't. So for the hardcore bull, that I suppose you could call that still a contender for a 2. Although I think most are past that puff on the hopium pipe. So as it sits right now, could it be the 3? Well, yet again, it requires a little Elliott gymnastics here to make that fly. I don't hate it here. This is the best count that I've seen here. Now there's a little bit of interpretation here. Oh, what am I on? I'm on a 4-hour. Let's go down to a 1. See how we're calling this done. Could we be done here? Well, the ABC of the 4 here is quite solid, and it's fairly technical as I recall. We got from the 3 to the 4 here. We're not in the pocket right here. We'll look at that in a little more detail in a sec. Didn't quite get right to the golden zone, but yeah, you know, we looked at this last week, right? Clearly, we had resistance here. Now, per last week's, we know that likely they used the secondary pivot here. So per that of the 1, 2, oh shit, I think it's 3, 4, 5 to get that 3 done. Sideways into the 4, right into the golden zone. So again, just acknowledging that if it's not this pivot, which it certainly could be, but if we come down here, we're a little closer to that target. Again, we'll look at this in more detail on another page here. Could we be done, right? So at this point here, 1, again, here, let me just label this for any new Elliott students here. This is a little bit of, as I said, a little bit of Elliott gymnastics here to make that fly, but it's legit. There's a clear 3, 3, 3, then you can squeeze a 5 in there. It's a little tight on the finish, but you can get her done. Then we start out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sideways into the 4. Now, are we done here? Well, it looks like you'd have to do 1, 2. This looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'd have to do it this way. Actually, it's a little tight in here. Oh fuck, how are we doing this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, clearly that's rather large here. Let's get something in white here. I know that's probably a little hard to see, but take a closer look at it. So if well, shit, how are we doing that? If we're working backwards here, Jesus, you might have to do it here. You might have to do that 3. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't say I love it. Maybe you have to do it here. I'll do it that way so we can get this as the 5 of the 1. It's a little bit of a cluster in here as to what do you do with all of this. But what we can see is that once we come out of it, here I should probably take this up a degree. Once we come out of it, that we actually do get a fairly decent impulse in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, shit. Yeah, what's there? Oh, so you're doing it this way. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C into the 4 here, and then this last little rip to bring it down. So the implication would be we're not done yet. Oh, let me get these in order here. So this would be 5 at this degree. This would have to go up a degree. Let's go up to 4. Now, are we done? Well, it's reasonable to think here now that we've got a 5 and a 3 here. So what you'd be thinking now is it's contender, right? Not unconfirmed until we know what we've got here. Let's go with an A, a B, and potentially a C yet still to come. For the 4, might as well use the channel that's here. So that would be relative to the 2. I got to get you in here. I have to go to a 2 hour. Let's do a 2 hour. Okay, so if it's 1, 2, 3. Now we don't want this 4 to take too long because we have such a tiny tube. It's a very clear 3. So if we just put it all together from the 2 through the proposed pivot of the 3. Well, so you can really just kind of lay it out. There it sits. You can see now. Do we know we're going to get this? Of course not, right? But you can see coming right into the 23 here. We've got some structure here, very high volume node, which is not hard to figure out why, right? All this price action in here, a lot of business was done in here, so we get the high volume node. But that would imply that we've got one more leg down. Right, and we're coming down here. It could be algo target, could be median line, could be it doesn't hit any of them. We get to the outer side of the channel. Could be we got a lot of targets down here. I might just start here with the median line. So let's put this over. We may not get that perfect symmetry here. Oh, let me go to what do I got here? A 3 hour here. Get a little more perspective on it so we can see it. Now, it's an unusual set of median. Well, it's not, maybe not that unusual, but where we have the pivot higher here, it's not your preferred set of median lines, but we see it hit all the time, so I wouldn't ignore it. So here's the median line that we're looking for. Now, remember, this is what makes this interesting is even though it's, what do I want to say? It's not atypical, that if we don't get it, right, even though it's atypical here, I'd be very well, if I were short looking for that play, you'd be very conscious of trading principle number 4, failure to make the median line equals a move equal to or greater than. We've looked at that a couple of times. I think in the live stream we hit it a few times. There's some great examples here in some smaller time frames that kind of guided us into where the next move was most probable to head per that violation of, or that confirmation that we don't hit the median line, so then we'd get a move equal to or greater than the move that failed to get there, right? It's easy to forget it, right? It's easy to think, oh, well, where's the median line? Oh, it didn't get it. Okay, well, that doesn't mean anything. No, it means a lot. So into the 3 here, one more down for the 5 would get us, we'd be leaning more into the flat. Now, we could still do the triangle here. Nothing says we have to come down here, right? If we did here and we got a maybe just a slight little push past the proposed wave 3 here, we don't get a massive 5, we don't get something like this, then something down here, you could still play the triangle here. Although you'd have to change the count, right? Because if it's a triangle, it has to be done in a series of 3s. So you'd likely have to revisit this count. I think I had considered it last week. One of the alternates was that we went into an A, B, and now we were heading down for some sort of a C. So, could we be done here? Yeah, we could be done here. The C actually could be in here of the triangle. And this is, instead of A, B, C, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, right? 4, pardon me. Well, we'd need an ABC here. So it could be that we're going to do a 5 of an A wave, B, C, to stay with the 3 by 3 by 3 by 3 structure of a triangle. So getting a little ahead of myself. We'll see, right? We don't have it here. I'm looking for the next place to buy. Right now, the safest bet is let it come down here and test 30K. That looks like a pretty solid place to, if you're looking for that next meaningful long rather than maybe some shorter term stuff. If we roll over here again, come down to challenge this and break it, then the median line becomes a great target. Now you'd be finishing the 5 down here at 31. You'd be close enough for the flat. If I put it back together, think about what we're trying to do with a flat. Essentially, we're going sideways. Actually, I'm going to use this one because that's the proposed per the Elliott count. Now here, note here, right? So 100% the length of the proposed A wave. Now note, I am using the truncated the truncated C of the ABC to get that Y per the Elliott count. So length right now, algo target here. Although we're not technically using an algo target here because we're not pinging off a 50 or 618, but it is, just of interest that 100 lines up with it perfectly, because if this goes a little further, maybe we revisit that. But right now, this level down here that's 33, call it 33.5-ish, just for round numbers. What is it? 33.6, again, round number. We could stay on this with the triangle. We're gonna get some clues fairly soon. This is part of the reason that I think it's a triangle is because triangle is doing just exactly what it typically does, which is frustrate the hell out of people. Are we going down? Are we going up? What are we doing? Right? Which is all the triangle is. We swing. We don't get completion. We get contraction. So, and you get a lot of frustration within that contraction, right? And then people start to do stupid things, which creates some more volatility. Bored traders come in here, allow themselves to get bent over by people that know better. So what we're doing here now is very consistent with that thinking. Now, so with that said here, I don't know that we have enough here to warrant. If anything, I think the next trade here for shorter term guys would be the swing low here. If we get a retest off of this structure here at this high volume node. Now, this is, what do I have? Well, yeah, I guess I do have it. I've got the POC in here as well. So this would be an interesting spot for a short. Now, you know, that you take that at your own risk here. I'm not one to short Bitcoin. Rarely will I do it. But here, if you don't care, right? I mean, if you just long short, who cares, right? This would be a reasonable spot. Very good risk reward here for the short with that as your target. Coming down to the median line towards, again, we'll call it, you know, lower 30s. We'll see, right? Again, what's it going to be, a 3 or a 5? Right now, there's a valid play here for a 5, which leads you into the flat. But we could, if need be, if we get a kick over the weekend and we kick up here, then we're likely calling this a WXY, and it's in, and we're off to now perhaps play into the D, the E, and then we're off to new highs. You know, now one thing here that let's see, I got to find it. I think we covered this here, CDE. This was an alternate here that one of my subs. He commented a couple of times here, so I figured I'd answer it for him. So he's asking, well, so first thing is, if you ever have questions, right, the best way to get a question answered, right, or if you really want to dig into account, you know, of course, you can join us for free, right? You don't then you could post away, right? Well, you'll get all sorts. You'll get more answers than you're ready for. So I don't have your name here, but one of these guys, a couple of I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks in a row, he said, "Why couldn't it be this? Why don't you answer my question?" You know, again, my first instinct is to say, "Well, join us for free in the Discord. You'll get all your answers. You'll get all the answers you can handle here." But I thought I would just address this here because it's worth noting here. So because it's not impossible that this is what's happening. So the question was, we can still stick with the 1, 2, but why can't we be done with the 3 here? Right? That's what his question was. Why can't we have this? Right? Right. This obviously must be how he's counting it, or one of his counts. Okay. Why can't we have that? What's wrong with that? I'd have per the WXY, I'd have a 3 here, so I'd have my corrective phase. You can squeeze an impulse in there if you're creative. Why not? Well, there's a couple of things that would lead you to say. So let me first say it certainly could be. Could be. I mean, there's some positives in here. Note here. So if I take the length of the 1. And this was a count we considered early on when we were going through this and trying to determine what we had here. 1, 2. Well, look where the pivot would be for the 3 right here relative to that 1, 2. That's 1, 6, 1, 8 to the tick. So once we started this, you know, early on, but you know, as we were in the first throes of this, that was a very valid count to be considering, just because of that, and the subdivision all plays, right? So again, why not? Again, you could certainly keep it in the mix of alternates, but I think it's less likely here. Now I know we gotta. Here, let me get this. That's probably hard to see. Let me get rid of that. Half the time I forget that they're there. Okay, 1, 2. Couldn't that be 3, 4, and 5 goes up here, and we finish? Oh, we could do it this way. We take length of the 1. Now, if we're, oh shit, what would we? Well, let's use the 38 right here. Okay, so now here would be 100% the length of the 1. Here would be some upper targets. Here would be the 1, 6, 1, 8 at 2. Oh, what are we at? 250. Well, there's a couple of things with this that, you know, for Elliottians or new Elliottians, they're getting a handle on things. There's a couple of things here that would lead me away from this account, from this count. Well, first here, I got to do it. Let's see, I'm in log scale, so I got to do it this way. So if I'm going to use these pivots here, get the corner of it. Oh shit, I got to do it because I'm in log scale. I can't use a channel. It will squeeze it. Okay, so let's use those pivots there. Okay, here, let's get that. Yeah, we can get rid of that. Okay, so let's leave that here. So now let's create the second one. All right, so we're just going to do, I'm just going to eyeball here approximately. All right, so here, okay, why not? Why not? Why couldn't this be? All right, we're just going to, here, I'm just going to simplify. We do something like that, and then off we go. again, it's not that it couldn't be. It's just less likely for a couple of reasons. One, you've got the failure swing here to get to the median line, or pardon me, to get to the upper parallel on the channel, right? So this, number one, you're typically trying to connect 1 and 3. So to do this per a traditional Elliott, you're doing it this way. Now this, again, if we're going to hold to a channel, I'm kind of eyeballing again here. Bringing the 4 down here to the 50 per the geometry, right? So again, we're going to do A, B, C, and now we're going. Well, then you would, if you came to the 50, now you'd certainly have an algo target here. So that would imply, now again, let's do it this way. Length of the 1. If we're going to put the pivot in here for the 4, let's just use the 50. Well, here's the 100 would be well, fuck, you'd call that a triple top. So you're going to need to get to the 1382 or further. Perhaps you could get second target up here, which would be 375. Right. So again, it's not out of bounds, right? It's not like, oh, what a ridiculous thought by any means, right? So to that, I wish I knew his name. I can't remember, but your thought is not a bad one, right? It's not that that's not possible, but so do you see the issues here? There's almost no way you can get the geometry, the channeling that you would look for in a good impulse like this, and this being, as I've proposed, one of the great impulses of our lifetime. Now again, what is it? 1 of 5, 3 of 5. We'll wait and see where we end up 3-4 years from now. But as it sits right now, this would be a contender. But my view would be if I'm looking at it as a contender, I would put this as a third or fourth alternate. Not impossible. Not stupid by any means, right? Just certainly very possible. Now you look here. I mean, as we look at the structure of it, even if you got a little further down here, now okay, let's just see it here. So now you're going to do this. You can bring it up here. Now it looks a little bit better, but you're counting on this as an underthrow in the 5th of the 3rd of one of the great bull markets of all time. Maybe, right? To that subscriber who's asking why not, if this is what you see, I mean, trade your own conviction. The goal, when you're trading, it's never a good idea to have to ask somebody else. Well, is that the right thing? I understand when you're first learning that confirmation and that, do I have this right? Has value. But at the end of the day, when it's time to pull the trigger and put money at risk, you got to have faith in your own conviction. So if you're feeling that, if that's the count that you're leaning into and that's your primary, well then have at it, man. Have at it. 3 is in now. So all you're doing at this point, if the 3 is in up here at that pivot, interestingly, that would be. Let's put that aside. All right, so we'd be looking down here. All right, so if the 3 is in, per the channeling here, we'll come back to this. All right, at the 50, well, there's your entry point. 50, so we'd be coming back below the 17 pivot. Nothing says we couldn't pivot right there, right? It doesn't have to get to the 50. It's not out of bounds. It really isn't. Oh, do I even have the Vegas wave on here? I do. Note here, we are under the Vegas wave. I talked about this last week. We are under the Vegas wave, but note, we are not even close to a flip yet. Last time we flipped, where the Vegas wave was above, where the 233 was above the Vegas wave, was right here at just under $8,000. Right here last time. Since that pivot here, 78.46, we have the 233 has stayed under the Vegas wave the entire time. So for this to roll over, well, certainly if we're coming down here for the 4, you're going to see it roll over. I would use that additionally as a trend long-term trend confirmation as to where we are right now. I mean, here we did all of this and we didn't flip it. It's certainly heading down, but a lot further is going to be required for that to flip over, as these now have to come down. So we'd be, at the very least, you could see it coming down here. If we come down here to the 30th, this is going to be very close to turning over. It might be very close. It might be on top. It might be like this, where it's just on top of itself. Right? Get something like that, and then you're into the 4 here. So, all right, how am I doing? 25 minutes. I think we've got that all covered here. There really is. This is the last one I had here. Yeah. Oh. Let's just wrap this up here with a little bit of the algo phenomenon that's happening in here. Oh, give me 1 sec here. Get that tightened up. Okay, so shit, I think I have them in here. Let's just see if I can find them. There's a lot in here because this is the copy of his. Oh shit! Here, I'll just draw them. All right, always good to do this. All right, so let's just dial in here and see how we're responding here technically. Now, last week, come here, get out of there. Again, per this channeling here, let's get that out of there. Okay, we got all of this wrapped. Okay, so what's happening right here? Okay, so we looked at this last week, right? So Y, right? 3 pivots. Y. Oh, I think this was our pivot here. Right? So golden zone, golden zone, golden zone. Now look where the target is. And I think was last week was the 7th, so we were just heading down here, and this we had acknowledged that, hey, that looks like a potential target. So again, if we've got a technical pivot here, that's a slight front run off of this pivot here on the target. That wouldn't be terribly surprising if they front run it here. Now you'd be looking for, per this count, if it's 3, 4, we coming down for the 5. If it's A, B, C, well, maybe we're done here. But what you need to do is put this in context, because remember, there is always an algo on the other side. Now, members, I'm absolutely sure you've all done this. Now, you got to make a decision here. The algo will use both of them, but I'm going to go to the dominant first. Oh, let's get it right. Come here. Let me get it right on there. Get you right on it. You always got to do this when you change time frames. Now here, actually, I think we looked at this in log last week. It doesn't change anything other than this pivot has to go up to this pivot. Right, so now we go into the golden zone. We get a little closer to that target. Now, in log scale, if I pull from here to here, now look at it. Okay, so here's the first sell side algo coming off of the, I almost prefer this here because we're coming off of the dominant, not the secondary, although we know they use the secondary. But here's we come into this golden zone here at that triple top. Now we're a little bit closer, but do you see where the target is? Right, in between 50, the 618 and the 65. So you look here and say, wonder why it didn't make target. Wonder why. Wonder why. Wonder why. It's just algo ping pong, right? That's what happens all day long. So as we sit here kind of stuck in a box, until we break this, we don't know who's got the advantage here. Both sides equally valid. You could certainly make a case here that that's close enough that the only reason it doesn't actually tick its target, of course they could have front run it. The only reason we don't get it here is the buy side algo takes over, right? And up they go. Now they've got a target up here. So if this algorithm here were to get its target, the count would be changing pretty dramatically because we would now have blown up the triangle, right? The idea. Oh, where am I on 3 hour? The idea of a triangle here, A, B, right? I can't get, if it gets to target, oh fuck, what are we thinking then? It could be running flat if you finish this at 5. I mean, it would be, it's not crazy. we'd finish it like this. So if we pivot here, you can almost see the triangle just waiting to happen. But nothing says that must happen. So look, as we come up here, first we got to break this, right? That's to the dominant. We got to break this. Then we got to break the downsloping median line. All right, we got to keep going if we're going to go get that. Not likely to go there in a straight line. So what do we get here? Do we get a 5? Do we get a 5? Right, that's what you'd be anticipating if it's A, B, C, and we're going to have a shallow C, and i.e. a running flat here. This would be, that's a pretty good. It'd be surprising, but it's certainly possible. It's not the craziest thing we've ever seen. It lends itself more to the triangle type of swing relationship, right? So there's no absolutes in the market. Market doesn't have to do anything. It's just our interpretation of it, and based on what we're seeing here and what's most probable per our analysis of it. If it does that, we got to rethink everything here. As it sits right now, this looks to me like if we break this golden zone here, which is kind of last stand, because this is dominant to dominant, this is dominant to dominant, right? So we're just stuck in an algo box here. So until we get some resolution and figure out, find out is a better way to say that, who breaks, right? Who breaks? Now, we could go sideways here. What are we between? Call it 52 and 40. Even what's our low here? 52 and 39. That range that we're stuck in here is going to give us the clues that we need, right? Do we come up here? Do we break this pattern here to where we come? So it can't be a 4. We start to go here. Maybe we're thinking, 1. You could certainly see a path here where 1, 2, 3. Right now we're planning the 4 here, which again would be somewhat unusual. We shall see. Okay. How many? 31 minutes. I want to do that. Yeah. So we'll do it as 2 videos here. So I'll stop here again. And we beat this thing to death here. I don't know if there's much more we can add here. We were in an algo box last week, right? Now here we are again, right? Just stuck between the 2 that we were identifying last week. We had already identified this one. Now this says we hit it and ping, it pop out of there. Well, we know why. We know why it's reacting there. Right. No, notice also the edge of the high volume here. Now going back towards the next high volume, it's hard not to see it, but the market again doesn't have to do anything, right? If we come down and do something like this, then we know bears are in charge. With this break here, now you're leaning into the flat. If we hold here and head back up, now we're leaning into the triangle. So still indecisive. Still no clear, no way you could determine what's what. You could take a calculated risk here. I think there's no reason to do it. Why? Most people watching here, you've got some position in Bitcoin here. If you've added something recently, or if you're looking for a new trade, I would tell you the next trade is the short. But when we get down here, I would be at least reducing risk, if not going to break even. I'm just, at the very least, I'd reduce risk here because you'd anticipate there'll be a reaction there. Right, bulls are going to defend there. If they can't defend, right, what does that say? Okay, we're going down here. All right, let me wrap there. I think that covers us. Just to recap here, and to the subs, right? If you want to ever reach us, right? If you have a specific question about an asset or you want to post something up, again, you can join us for free, as in free. No commitment. We can barely get an email out, let alone be spamming you. So don't worry about that. And there's no commitment. We're not going to hammer you to join. We really, it's up to you whether you want to join. We don't, it makes no difference to us. We'd like you to join if you want to learn, but it's not like we're going to, be pounding you like time to join, time to join, time to join. It's just a way to be in communication with, if you want to get to me, us, anybody want to post, want to see these videos early, join us. Again, it's free. Okay, let me wrap there, and I'll be back. We'll do these in two different vids here because Ethereum, I think, leads a little bit into why I think the triangle still plays best here. Okay, guys, back to you shortly on the next.